झाला हा लेक्चर चालू.
Guys, we'll wait for 10 minutes for everybody else to join and then resume the class. All right, good afternoon, students. Please switch your cameras on.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone.
But my camera is not working, huh?
Okay, all right. I see a lot of new faces. Anyone joining in new today?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Watched the earlier lectures? Yes. How have you all felt about the earlier lectures? You all have understood? You all have any doubts, queries?
Yes, sir. I do have some doubts. I did watch 1.5 lecture, still half is pending. Yesterday's lecture, I mean previous Sunday's lecture. Yeah, I do have some queries, sir. I did text you.
Tell me, what is it about?
It was about the law and the force.
As in, I didn't get you.
Um, that self-defense you taught, na?
Hmm.
I was having one question in that, and about Sharia law, I have some few interesting questions.
Okay, so let's start with your self-defense question first.
Okay. Yes, sir. So, actually, you said that if there is any equal force, that is meant to be self-defense, right, sir? So, say let's assume a party is abusing and threatening one mentally, and so the other party is giving him answer physically. So does that mean, is that an self-defense? Is there any equal forces over there?
So, I wouldn't call it self-defense over here because self-defense essentially is defined as that there is some threat to an attack to you, or there is an attack on you to which you retaliate in order to prevent
Okay,
yourself from self-defense. But today, when
okay,
you say that there's been this sort of emotional or mental trauma which has been imposed, or a
yes,
balance mentally which has been,
mm,
so you've been pushed into a situation where you are agitated so much.
yes,
So provocation is something. So if you're able to prove that there was immense amount of provocation
okay,
and there was a retaliation to that provocation which was in its apt quantity. So if today, let's say
okay,
somebody
okay,
is provoking you to an extent and you immediately remove your gun and shoot that person, that is not something
okay,
which is,
okay,
because you have an option of either leaving that room, you have an option of
yes,
either
yes,
calling on somebody else for help. The
yes, yes,
threat as such physically to you, there could be a situation where, see, so today domestic violence, when we speak about,
yes,
is a very important and a very common understanding that we have in today's time and age, right?
yes, sir, of course,
He
yeah.
does not simpliciter mean to a husband hitting his wife.
Mm,
Domestic violence is not simpliciter with respect to there being use of physical abuse. Even mental
okay,
abuse is included in domestic violence.
okay, okay, I get it, sir, okay.
So that's about it. So in that sense, if there is immense amount of provocation which is there, and you're able to
Mm,
establish that sort of provocation, then
okay,
any action that has been taken by you will
mm,
have to be justified with respect to the amount of force utilized by you. So if you,
okay, sir,
let's say I have this phone next to me, you and throw this phone against you, then
okay,
that is something which I can justify saying, you provoked me so much, I was helpless, and I ended up just throwing any object
okay,
against you.
okay, okay,
But if I leave from this room, go down,
mm,
take a cab, go to a bowling alley,
okay,
get a heavy 10 kg ball,
okay,
come back to my house, and then throw that ball on you, then I cannot claim
okay,
the
yes, yes,
uh, defense of provocation.
okay, sir, I get it.
Okay. All right. Next,
Yes,
any
sir.
other queries? Sharia law, you
Yeah,
want?
yes, sir. So about Sharia law, so it was originated from Quran, right, sir? If I'm not wrong. And the Quran was written in about 610 or 600, somewhere around that common era. So actually, I'm very keen to know about how this Sharia law is affecting the financial statements and corporate governance of those Arab-based nations. I'm very keen to know about this.
So today, let's take an example, simpliciter. How is the legal system of India affecting the financial status of the country?
Okay.
How would you feel? How do you think
Um,
the legal system in India affecting the financial status of the country?
so actually, India is saying us to prepare two financial statements. One is for Indian standards, and then if it is an IFRS, we have to prepare the separate thing. And India, it has some complicated things, and yeah, they're adapting IFRS and preparing their own standards, and it has a lot of consequences on our financial
My
statements.
question is very simple. If I have to ask a layman that
Okay,
how is the Indian judiciary or the legal system affecting
okay,
you financially, what will your answer be?
okay,
What you are saying is somebody who is very well read and have understood what the financial status of a country, how it works. My
okay,
question is
okay.
simple, suited to the ground level. Does a legal system of a country affect its financial status? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, it will. Yeah.
Indian legal system, the Indian judiciary, there are tax laws.
Yes.
Tax is decided by the laws which are in place. There are
Yes. Yes.
budget
Yes. Of
laws.
course.
How much budget has to
Hmm.
be allocated is something which is decided by the laws of the country. There are
Yes.
SARFAESI proceedings with respect to
Okay.
if at all somebody fails to repay the banks, how to function.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There are bankruptcy laws. If a company goes
Yes.
bankrupt, insolvent, how to deal with that. That also,
Hmm.
at the end of the day, affects the larger economy of the country. Today,
Yes,
let's
sir, of
for
course.
instance, uh, you know, one of our esteemed Supreme Court judges becomes insolvent,
Okay.
or goes bankrupt. Can he continue in the
Okay.
position? No, he can't.
No.
So everything in certain way, you name a situation, you name a thing, there will be some sort of a law involved in that. If you are sitting
Okay,
in
fine.
a ideal room,
Okay.
you are still obligated by not less than 10,000 laws. How?
Okay.
You cannot do drugs in the room. You can and store illegal cash in that room. You have to pay for that room. If it's a hotel, if it's a rent
Mm.
house, you have to pay the rent.
Yes,
So
yes.
in such situations,
Sir, your voice is breaking.
sorry guys, I think I lost my connection. Am I audible to you all now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I'm saying in such situations, you need to analyze what all laws are applicable and binding on you. So at every
Okay.
instance, at every point in time, whatever you do, make sure that you are very well aware that you're bound by a lot of laws. Am I clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Fine.
Today, for an instance, you all are attempting your ACC exam. You are still bound by so many rules and regulations, which we fail to realize are actually laws.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, sir.
All right? Okay.
Yeah,
Any
I
other?
get it, sir.
So, sorry, coming back to your question about Sharia law, in similar
Yeah.
situations, the laws which are adapted by Indian countries like India, are the laws which follow down from the constitution and the parliament. Similarly, in
Yes,
Sharia
sir.
law countries, the laws which are adapted by them are the laws which follow down from their
Quran.
Islamic constitution, which is
Okay.
derived from the Quran.
Okay, yes, sir. But on that time, these corporate governance, financial statements, even these entities, the concept of business was not there, right? So I'm very like
So
interested to
the
know
concept
how.
of law isn't something which
Okay.
is been derived overnight.
Okay.
It has been initiated through rules and regulations and norms and social customs
Okay. Okay. Yes,
that
sir.
a group of people used to follow. Initially, at the time of tribal
Okay.
times, there
Okay.
were all these tribal groups who used to have their personal norms and customs, which they
Okay.
started considering them as rules and regulations eventually.
Okay.
And those
Yes.
rules
Yes.
and regulations later in time, when became collective, were a derivative of law.
Okay. Okay. I get it, sir. Got it. Got it.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyone else? Any other doubts, queries, questions?
No,
I
sir.
see a lot of you all have not turned up with your homeworks, home assignments. Why so? So what I'll do is I'll give you all one more day until tomorrow for submitting your home assignments. Guys, please switch your cameras on. Dhruv, Jatin, Jasneet, Stephen, Harsh, Ronak, Ananya, Mohit, Suman, Dhruv. Please, guys, quickly come on, switch your cameras on. We need to proceed with the class. We've already been late because you all joined late. Uh, 1 second, let me just share my screen with you all. All right, you're able to see my screen, guys?
Yes, sir.
All right. So up till now, what all we've covered is we've covered essentially what the background of the legal system is, what are the political systems, what are the economic systems. We've understood about what are the essentials of an international law, when is it required, what are the sources of international law, what are the separate institutional bodies which have been framed with respect to the international laws, and how they coexist and assist smooth and in that sense efficient process of trades across the country, across countries, right? Now the concept and the topic which we are going to understand today and learn, sorry, we've also covered the topic of arbitration, which is a very important method of dispute resolution, right? uh, and these methods are outside court settlements essentially. These are alternative dispute resolution techniques and mechanisms. All right, now today we are going to actually go back to the time where essentially the business officially began. That is your formation of a contract, your understanding of the terms of the contract, your the consequences of breach of contract which are already incorporated inside the contract. So we are going to essentially primarily understand the roots of initiating the business, the roots of starting a new relation with a business associate, with an employer, with an employee, or with any person professionally. All right. So why is this important? This is important because this is the base of how one contract will end up being binding on you. How you can make somebody a party to a contract where that person will have to adhere to the clauses of the contract. How you will be made binding to adhere to the clauses of the contract, and how one can get out of their obligations under the contract. What are the defenses? What are the roles, responsibilities, duties, and what are essentially the main understanding and importance of these contracts? How these contracts help you, how these contracts secure you. That is something which we are going to understand in today's class. All right. Yes, please start reading. Suraj, please start reading.
We learned the importance and types of international law in syllabus A. Now it's time to dive deeper. In this chapter, we will learn about the United Nations Convention on Contracts for the International Sale of Goods 1980 and how do international contracts work. Topics like sale of goods and Incoterms are frequently tested in all the section of the paper.
Did I lose my network, or did Suraj lose his network?
He lost
I-
his.
He lost his.
Okay, no worries. Let him rejoin. Somebody else continue, please. Vansh, please start reading.
Okay, sir. So topic like sales of goods and Incoterms are frequently tested in all the sections of the paper in a practical manner, especially Incoterms. So let's start. United Nations Convention on Contracts for the International Sale of Goods,
Now,
1980.
guys, UNCCISG is one of the most important base understandings of contracts. Why so? Because UNCCIG is the guiding principle of what clauses need to be included in the contract. Now, today, when you are a fresh business associate, or you're starting a business fresh, or you've been into business but not so much with international businesses, you need some guiding principles, you need some ray of light which will help you understand how to actually initiate these contracts, what all needs to be included in the contract, what all needs to be excluded from the contract, what all terms need to be added so that the buyer is essentially bound to make those payments which you want, or on the contrary, the seller is bound to deliver the goods which you are actually getting in the contract for. So UNCCISG is like a guiding principle and like a role model for contracts. So UNCCISG gives you a model code which you can use to make your contract. Now, what is a model code? It's essentially like a format which is there, which then helps you to understand and implement your contract with the other party. So वो आपको 4, 5, 10, 12 चीजें बता देगा. अब उसमें से what all you want to include is something which is as per your situation and as per your need of the hour. So today, how UNCCISD is important is because most of the international contracts are derived from the UNCCISD's model code. Yes, please continue reading.
It is applicable on the international sale of goods. It is applicable when the parties to a trade are contracting states, part of the UN. When a private international law of a country recognizes UNCCISG, we know what's included in sales of goods, but what's excluded by UNCCISG, goods purchased for personal, household, or family consumption, unless the seller is unaware of such use and has no way to know so. Auction sales. Sales are made on execution or by exercising law. Sale of financial instruments, for example, shares, negotiable instruments, etc., or money. Sale of ships, hovercraft, aircraft vessels. Sale of electricity.
Now, what is it that we're talking about over here? We're talking about the sphere of application of UNCCISD. That means where all can this UNCCISD be applicable? So the crux of this is that this is purely and solely for international sale of goods. So when there is a trade which is happening and where either one of the parties is a foreign party, that's where your UNCCISG will come into the role. It's applicable where the parties to the trade are contracting states. Now, what do you mean when I say contracting states? Yes, James, what do you think when I say contracting states? What does it mean?
Contracting states.
Yeah. So we all know that United Nations is ideally it's like an institution for all countries, right? Where people go and become members of the United States, attend the meetings, attend the General Assembly, and make sure that the entire world is a peaceful place to live in. Any disputes or any sort of issues which arise can be resolved amicably without proceeding to the step of wars. All right. So when I say that all states, all countries have to enroll themselves as members with United Nations, if there is a trade which is happening, let's say James is from India and Suraj is from Nepal and Vansh is from China. Now, all these three countries are a member of United Nations. So these countries are technically called as contracting states. Why? Because they are bound by a submission of membership to the United Nations. All right. So the application of UNCCISG also comes into role when, let's say, in a situation like this where James, Suraj, and Vansh are getting involved in a trade, and all of these three people, three businessmen, are coming from countries which are member states. This is where all these three guys, what will they do is rather than making their own contract, they have an option of adapting the contract of UNCCISG. Clear? Or the third situation where the application of UNCCISG is where a country's private international law. Now, what is a private international and public international law? We've dealt with in the previous lecture. So when a country's private international law, in order to eliminate the risk of conflict of laws, recognizes UNCCISG as the guiding principle, then UNCCISG is immediately applicable to these guys. Clear? Now, we've understood what all is a part of the application of UNCCISD. It's the crux of it is that there needs to be an international sale of goods. So when I say sale of goods is something which is very self-explanatory. Any sort of products which I'm selling, let's say I'm selling bottled water from India to Japan, for an instance. Now, in such a situation, Will this be a part of UNCCISG application? Yes, because bottled water is a good which we are selling. In such situations, there are exceptions which state that these products, these services, these goods will not form a part of UNCCISG guidelines, which are any goods purchased for your personal consumption. So let's say if I am ordering a furniture material, let's say a sofa from China, will that be considered as a contract under UNCCISG? No, because it's not a business transaction. It's a consumer transaction. But if at the same instance, I buy 500 sofas from China in order to sell it in the Indian markets, then that will be considered as a sale of goods under UNCCISG. Auction sales, we all know what auctions are. 5 crore 1, 5 crore 2, 5 crore 3 sold. सुना है सबने ये? So what are auctions? Auctions is a process of selling goods or materials or valuable crafts or properties through inviting bids. Now, if you all want to understand the best means of auction, we can take a reference of the IPL auction of the players. Each player has been set at a value, which is the minimum asking price. Then all the teams will start bidding. So let's say if somebody is placing a price of 10 lakh rupees, and if other team wants that auction to come in their favor, they'll say, I ask for 12 lakhs. I propose 14 lakhs, 18 lakhs, 20 lakhs. Bids keep coming until there is one bidder who is considered as the highest bidder. This is what is called as auction sales. Now, auction sales are again not a part of UNCCISG. Execution or exercising law. Sales which are made on execution or by exercising law. What does this include? This includes that if, let's say, there is a new law which has come into place, which says that every person holding a unit of plastic, manufacturing device or anything as such, is hereby instructed and directed to sell that machine. Goes and starts executing the law by sale of those machines. Such execution and such exercising of law results into a sale, but that sale is not a part of UNCCISG. Sale of financial instruments, negotiable instruments, that is your demand draft, check, all of these commodities and means of payments are not included under your UNCCISG. Sale of ships, hovercrafts, aircraft vessels, etc. So all your heavy transportation material, again, not included. Electricity is also not something which is included. Clear? Anyone, any doubts, any issues up till now? Shall we proceed?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Please continue reading the place of business. Suraj.
Place of business. If a party has multiple places of business, the relevant place of business is the place most closely connected with his contract. If a party has no place of business, his habitual residence will be considered his place of business. You need not remember the names of member states. The examiner could use fictional names in the exam, and if not, you will be informed if the country is contracted state.
So ये क्या बोलना चाह रहे हैं? Basically, you don't have to. I think there are 192 member states or something like that. 194 member states of United Nations. So nobody's going to say India and Pakistan are two countries which are dealing. So you don't have to then remember, okay, India is a member state, Pakistan is a member state, so okay, these are contracting states. They will give you in the question itself that the two countries involved in the trade, the two businessmen who are originated from two countries involved in the trade, both those countries are member states or contracting states. Clear? Yes, continue.
Miscellaneous policies. If any topic is not expressly mentioned in the convention, then it should not it should be decided upon based on the general principle on which the convention is based. The statements and the conduct of a party should be interpreted based on their intent. This can be applied when the other party is aware of or can't be unaware about the intent of the other party. Parties should follow established practice based on similar contracts they had made before, or they should use widely known practices for similar contracts in international trade. Example, if similar contracts in the past, the contracting parties have made the payments via drafts, then this time also they assume that to be the means of payment. A contract does not need to be in writing unless the country of either party has made a declaration under Article 96 mandating a written contract. Written contracts include telegram and telex.
Right. Guys, just give me 1 minute. I need to take this call, sir. Just give me. So much. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I actually had to take this call. It was urgent. Anyways, so these are some miscellaneous policies which are forming a part of the practice which states. I'm not essentially meaning trade between countries as the trade between the government of the countries. I'm talking about the private trade between two individual entities or more than two individual entities who are from different countries. So let's say if today India decides to import fuel from Russia, so the Indian government is getting fuel from Russia. That will not form a part of your UNCCISG, but that will form part of your treaty which you have with Russia. So that will depend. Now, it could be a possibility that the treaty with Russia is influenced by the UNCCISG guidelines. All right. So now, if these treaties, how do they help you? They help you through understanding what sort of equation and relation one country shares with the other. Now, we all know during COVID, India had very, very, very bitter relations with China. And since then, we have reduced our trade and our business relations with China. Am I right? Now, that is a change in a treaty with that country. And that's when the UNCCISG will also be amended in certain way. The contracts from UNCCISG will be amended in a certain way. And that's how your convention is going to influence your trade. Now, if any topic of trade, that is any sort of particular trade idea or goods is not expressly mentioned in the convention, then it should be decided on the basis of the general principles which the convention is based upon. So general principle kya hai? There should be fairness, both parties needs to be heard properly. So normal natural principles of natural justice जिसको बोलते हैं, That is something which needs to be considered. Intent is also something which is very important, which is what has been displayed in the second part, that the statements and the conduct of a party should be interpreted based on their intent. Established practice, अब बरसों से अगर ये चला आ रहा है कि every time that I and James get into a trade, I send James goods in a very fancy packaging. ठीक है? There is nowhere mentioned in the contract that I'm going to send James goods which are in fancy packaging. So I'm not bound to send anything James with fancy packaging. But since 10 years, if I'm sending packaging to James, which is a very fancy, presentable box, and one fine day after 10 years, suddenly I get into a situation where I send James goods in a plastic bag. And James goes ahead and sues me for not sending those fancy packaging. So I go ahead and I take a defense that, boss, you show me where it is mentioned in the contract that I have to send fancy packaging. So James, अरे ये तो सही बोल रहे हैं यार, contract में है ही नहीं. Up. So now James has this remedy under the law and the regulation of established practice. Since so many years, this was the practice, it's become an established practice, and now you are bound to send it to me in fancy packaging. Clear? A contract does not need to be in writing unless the country of either party has made a declaration under 96, mandating a written contract. Very interestingly, in United States, a verbal contract is binding. So if today I get into a contract, now what is a contract? When does a party involves itself into a contract? Something which you're going to read ahead. But in United States, if at all there is a verbal agreement between two parties, it's considered to be a valid contract. Whereas verbal agreements and verbal contracts in India are not binding. इसलिए तो बोलते हैं इंडियंस की जबान पे भरोसा नहीं करते. ये आज बोला कल मुकर गया. I'm not talking about politicians, I'm talking about contracts. So don't, in that sense, think about why we're talking about Indians not being very true to their words. So in India, this is not something which is a regular practice, that verbal contracts are binding. But in countries like USA, if you've given a word, that means that it is a contract which is binding. And from that is the place where people have derived these sayings that, be a man of your word. So the emphasis is not being a man. When they say man, they're actually trying to say that be a human being who sticks by their word. So by their word does not mean कि एक बार बोल दिया तो करना पड़ेगा. It means that when you have agreed to something, when you've submitted to something, when you have understood what you are submitting to and what you are agreeing for, you need to live up to it. Why so? Because a verbal contract is binding in such countries, unlike India. Clear? Now, written contracts include telegram, telex also. So if let's say, and this telegram does not mean the application telegram which we use on our phones. It means the usual earlier routine of sending a message by telegram. Clear? All right, now we have one question with us. Durvesh, please read this question and take it up and give me the answer. What do you feel is the correct answer?
Should I read the question?
Yes, please. उसके बिना आंसर कैसे समझेगा सर आपको? चलो एक काम करो, डायरेक्ट 4 ऑप्शन पढ़ के बता आंसर क्या है, बिना क्वेश्चन पढ़े. Please, I'm just messing with you. Please.
Yeah.
Read.
Ronald is a carpenter operating in Narnia, which is a member state. He has been selling oak wood tables to Venkatesh in India, also a member state, since 2 years. In the 2 years, Ronald always polishes the table before shipping them, but this time he did not. Venkatesh raises a complaint about this. Can he do so? Yes, as Narnia has a lot of magical beings. No, it was not mentioned in the contract. Yes, it is an established practice. Yes,
It is
because
an
Ronald
established
Reagan,
practice, sir.
So we
sorry.
find out
It
what
is
an established
C.
practice is, and that is why
See,
since for so many 2 continuous years, that is something which has been followed. This is something which will have to be bound to be followed. Clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. Second question, yes. Soumya, take it up.
On the death of Salman Khan, a famous painter, the government auctioned off his unsold painting titled Black Bug. Harry bought the painting, but it was delivered damaged. Can he claim redressal based on UNCCISG? A. No, as Salman Khan did not sell the Black Bug himself. B. No, as it was an auction sale. C. Yes, it is involved exchange of goods for money. Sir B.
सेल हो या किल, सलमान ने कभी नहीं किया होता है. Yeah, so the answer over here will be very simple. Since it's an auction sale, it's not considered within the ambit of UNCCISG guidelines. And that's why this this sale was not committed by, not executed by Salman. Clear?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's move on. Now we are coming to the most interesting part of this chapter, that is a contract. Let's take an example. I think all of us has gone through this at some point or the other, where our mom or dad has come to us and said, ये एक एग्जाम बस क्लियर कर दे, फिर तो तेरी लाइफ सॉर्टेड है. इसके आगे तो तू, इसके बाद तेरे को जो करना है कर. तेरे को सोना है, टीवी देखना है, पार्टी करना है, वेकेशन पे जाना है. यू आर फ्री आफ्टर दैट. So you get excited, you feel yeah, life is going to be so much better after that one exam. Just let's finish off the 10, bam, 12th खत्म कर लेते, bam, entrance, and bam, degree. वो लाइफ में कभी एग्जाम्स खत्म नहीं होने वाली है, बट फॉर दोज एग्जाम्स देयर इज एन एक्स्ट्रा एडेड इंसेंटिव एंड अ मोटिवेशन विच वी ऑल गेट कि अगर 10th में तुमने 90% लाए, आई विल गेट यू एन आईफोन. 12th में अगर तुम्हारे 85-90% आए, व्हाटएवर, कुछ लोगों के लिए तो 75% भी बहुत हो जाता है, क्योंकि पेरेंट्स ऐसा बोलते हैं कि भैया हमारे 3 साल का टोटल भी 75% नहीं था, तो भाई तू 75 ला दे, तेरे को मैं बाइक दिला दूंगा. मेहनत करते हैं, पढ़ाई करते हैं.
Your voice was gone.
Sorry, am I audible
Yes,
now,
sir.
guys?
For a few seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, my voice is like my ex, just leaves in between without saying, but then again comes back. So yay. See, everyone is smiling now because the voice has come back. Voice has come back. Yeah. So I was at the point of these temptations, and these temptations matlab not your ex. Temptations matlab the offers which your parents give you for scoring good marks. So we all feel, oh my God, yes. 3 दिन तक जी जान से मेहनत करते हैं, चौथे दिन सोचते नहीं चाहिए आईफोन, कहाँ पड़ गया इस चक्कर में. फिर लेट्स से कि इशिता के डैड ने कहा, इशिता 90% आ गए, आई एम गारंटिंग यू, आई विल गिव यू अ फोन, अ न्यू फोन, ब्रांड न्यू, विच एवर मॉडल यू आस्क फॉर. इशिता ने इतना मेहनत किया, पूरी किताबें रट ली. वो जो गाना है ना, रट्टा मार, दैट वाज बेसिकली हर लाइफ नाउ. इतना मेहनत करके 92% लेके आ गई. पापा को बोला चलो फोन." पापा ने बोला नहीं देने के, जा." What can Ishita now do? Can she go to a court of law? मेरे को एक दिन इशिता फोन करती है, बोलती है, सर मेरे को एक केस करना है. मेरे पापा ने मेरे को बोला कि फोन गिफ्ट करेंगे, 90% आया, तो मेरे को 92% आ गया, अब मेरे को फोन नहीं दे रहे. Can Ishita sue her dad in the court of law?
Maybe I guess if she is in US, she can because has contacts, oral
If
contacts
she
are
is in
binding
US,
on.
her parents will not give her this offer only. You are on your own in US. Yeah. So मुंबई में है इशिता. मुंबई में where are you from इशिता?
Chandigarh.
चंडीगढ़. ठीक है. चंडीगढ़ में है इशिता. क्या कर सकती? Can she go to the court of law?
No, I guess.
No.
मोहित भाई का एक बड़ा रैकेट है. बेटिंग करते हैं सर. इंडिया पाकिस्तान की मैच पे सट्टा लगाते हैं. ठीक है. जेम्स ने मोहित के पास बोला, ब्रो इफ इंडिया विंस आई एम प्लेसिंग माई बेट ऑन इंडिया 1 लाख रुपीज. मोहित बोलता है, इफ इंडिया विंस योर 1 लाख विल बिकम 2 लाख, बट इफ इंडिया लूजेस यू हैव टू गिव मी एंटायर 1 लाख. अब जेम्स ने फुल मैच लगाया, भगवान के सामने अगरबत्ती लगाई, कैंडल लगाया, सब किया. बोला इंडिया ही जीतेगा. और जय श्री राम, जय जीसस लगा दिया 1 लाख रुपया. इंडिया जीत गई. जेम्स ने पार्टी कर लिया. ब्रो 1 more lakh extra money. जेम्स डिसाइडेड टू नॉट डू बिजनेस आफ्टर दैट. कि भाई क्या है, पढ़ लिख के क्या होगा, इंडिया के लिए प्रे करेंगे, जीतेगी और पैसा कमाएंगे. मोहित टाटा बाय बाय हो गया. मोहित लगे टेंगा, नो मनी. कैन जेम्स sue मोहित for a breach of
Or no,
contract?
sir.
Why no?
Sir, actually, gambling is not allowed, right? So, in
तो
India,
फिर
gambling is
जो आप लोग 3 पत्ती में करते हो,
I didn't get you.
I think sir disconnected.
Yeah. Lost it again.
Sir, you're mute.
क्या है यार, पहले बोल लेता थोड़ा यार, इतना सब बोलने के बाद बोलता है सर यू आर म्यूट. Actually, I'm not in the city, and that's why I'm facing these internet issues. Anyways, oh, yeah. Is the screen visible? Let's resume.
Yes, sir.
So we were at the betting. मोहित पैसा खा गया 1 लाख रुपए. मोहित भाई क्या यार, 6 कोहली मार रहा है बट रन तुम बना रहे हो. Why not paying James? Huh? So now in such a situation, again, is a suit possible? Is suing Mohit possible? Yeah. Okay, the ones whose cameras are not on, this is the last time I'm asking you all to switch your cameras on, or else I'll ask you all to leave the class. Unless you all are, of course, switching your cameras off and betting on the next Indian match, that's something else. I would want to share to that then. And if not, then please switch your cameras on. All right. हाँ. So, क्या लगता है जसनीत भाई, पैसा निकलेगा कि नहीं निकलेगा? केस कर पाएगा कि नहीं कर पाएगा?
नहीं कर पाएगा सर.
क्यों?
सर कुछ रिटर्न कॉन्ट्रैक्ट नहीं था अगर इंडिया में है तो.
अरे
और
मान लो
betting
उसने व्हाट्सएप पे लिख के भेजा उसको.
इंडिया में वैसे भी सर बेटिंग इलीगल है.
हाँ, तो
तो
बेटिंग इलीगल है इज द आंसर. ठीक है,
हम्म,
चलो ओके. अब यार सी, ये हम बार बार बोलते हैं, बार बार सुनते हैं, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट साइन कर लेना चाहिए. ये मूवी के लिए इसने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट साइन किया है. ये देयर इज एन एग्रीमेंट व्हिच इज साइंड. व्हाट इज अ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट? In simple language, if somebody comes and asks you, yes, Ramya, what is a contract?
Agreement which is agreed by both the parties.
तो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट और अग्रीमेंट में क्या फर्क है?
Um,
Yes, Tanvi?
Contract.
Yeah, sorry. Please continue.
So contract would be having a detailed um information about what we have to agree about.
Okay. Yes, Tanvi, what do you think?
Sir, are you asking the difference between a contract and an agreement?
Yeah.
An agreement is when both of the parties do it together, and a contract is you need your signature if you agree. An
तो फिर
agreement is
both parties साथ
already.
में ही करेगी ना? Both parties will sign also together. Contract and agreement में difference is merely signing the document.
There is consideration to be paid.
में consideration नहीं होता.
So the time differences agreements are for long term basically, and contracts are for short term, I guess.
We are not talking about our ex-girlfriends,
Sir,
bro. क्या हिसाब
all
काम से-
contracts are agreements and all agreements are not contracts.
एकदम लॉजिकल बात की, बट मीनिंग समझाओ क्यों?
Because when one person makes an offer, that's a contract. But when the other party agrees to the offer that is made,
What
that
is
is
the
an
difference between an
agreement.
offer and a contract then? If what you're saying is correct, that when a person makes an offer, that is a contract, then what is the difference between an offer and a contract?
So offer might be verbal as well, but a contract is a written document that is presented.
So then how is an offer a contract if an offer is verbal?
Not sure, sir.
Yes, Stephen, you still have something to add?
No, sir, I was just adding on to previously you were saying about agreements and contracts. I know that as a matter of fact, contracts are agreements. All contracts are agreements, and not all agreements are written as contracts.
Bro, बात एकदम सही बोली है तुमने. It's actually to the point, but I want to know the understanding behind it. Yes, Vansh.
Sir, I'm lost in this one. I'm not sure.
Not sure. Even she wasn't sure, sir. Yes, Mohit.
So, I guess
तो पैसे खा जाता है, तेरे को तो पता होनी चाहिए बात.
confusing है थोड़ा सा.
Confusing है. Yes, Durvesh.
Acceptance may be
Guys, दुर्वेश को देख के ऐसा नहीं लगता कि ये क्लास का टॉपर होगा. एकदम सिंसियरली बैठा है, स्क्रीन से एक बार नजर नहीं हटी है. Yeah, yes sir, please.
when agreement can be a contract if there is an acceptance from the other party.
देखा, उसका आंसर भी सुना कैसा है, एकदम जैसे कि बुक से पढ़ के याद करके बोला हो. मेरे को सिंपल लैंग्वेज में समझाओ गाइस, व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन अ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एंड एन एग्रीमेंट?
Sir, a contract can be a legal thing, like, and an agreement can just be between two parties, and maybe it cannot be like legal. You can't show that off to complain or file a case.
Okay. Yes.
Sir.
Anyone else? Yes,
So
yes, please.
contract
Sir,
is more of formal, like.
Sir, an agreement is not as much legally enforceable. मतलब वो sue नहीं कर सकते, ज़्यादा legally formal नहीं होता compared to a
So
contract.
basically you are agreeing to what Tanvi is saying, right? That
Yeah.
agreements cannot be in that sense taken up by the court of law, but contracts can be. Am I right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yes, Dibanshi.
So,
Your answer, what do you think?
so like considering the point which Tanvi and Vansh said, so basically contract is something which is legally binded, and whereas agreement is not. So contract can be used in a legal purpose to like, as you were citing examples of someone being cheated or something. So in that case, a contract helps as a legal proof or an official document, whereas agreement is not.
Okay, let's come to the point now. So if there is a trade which is happening, that let's say Suraj gets into a trade with Devanshi and says, you know, I will pay you 1 lakh rupees. You please deliver 500 bottles of chemicals. Okay. Suraj pays 1 lakh rupees. No, sorry. Devanshi delivers the chemicals, but Suraj does not pay the 1 lakh rupee. Okay. This is one situation A. Situation B is where our Mr. Bookie took away 1 lakh rupee and did not pay Mohit ji. ठीक है, उन्होंने 1 लाख रुपीस नहीं पे किया. सिचुएशन सी इज वेयर पापा ने प्रॉमिस किया था कि वो आपको फोन दिलाएंगे और वो फोन नहीं दिलाया. तो इशिता's dad was a phone worth rupees 1 lakh. So in all these three situations that we are talking about, the issue is with respect to 1 lakh rupees. Are we clear, guys? Up till now everyone is with me? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now in this 1 lakh rupee, which is out of the three situations the situation where I am most likely to get back that 1 lakh rupee? Because
The first one.
the first one. Why so? Because the first one was a contract, and situation 2 and situation 3 were agreements. Now the only difference between an agreement and a contract is, like a lot of you all rightly pointed out, it's legal enforceability. What is an agreement? An offer plus acceptance combines and forms an agreement. Okay? So between two people, there's some sort of an offer which is proposed. The other party accepts that offer. This forms an agreement. All right. Now, an agreement plus legal enforceability forms a contract. So I am not denying the fact that what Mohit agreed for was not an agreement. Of course, it was an agreement. What Ishita's dad had promised was also an agreement. But the reason why the sale of goods is something where you can recover that 1 lakh rupees is because that had legal enforceability. So what is a contract? If I have to ask you to define a contract in 3 words, how would you do that? Offer, acceptance, legal enforceability. So 4 words okay, sorry. So any offer which is accepted by the parties and has a legal enforceability forms a contract. That does not mean that agreements are not legally binding. A few agreements are not legally binding. A few situations are such where agreements are not binding. So टर्मिनोलॉजी का फर्क है. सिचुएशन सिर्फ इतना बोलता है कि अगर दो लोगों ने कोई चीज पे सहमति दी है, if two people have agreed to do something and that is legally enforceable, then that is called as a contract. Clear, guys?
Yes.
So remember 4 words: offer, acceptance, legal enforceability. ठीक है? Rachel, are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Simran, Stephen, any doubt, guys? All right. Now,
Sir, how about
yeah.
consideration?
See, consideration is something that you have agreed upon, no? So that is going to be form of your proposal and the acceptance part only. So you are proposing something. Let's say I am proposing to buy a car. So I say, I want to buy your car. How much are you willing to sell it for? Now this is an invitation to an offer which I'm giving. That please give me an offer, which then is up to me if I want to buy or no. Or if I say, I want to buy your car for 5 lakh rupees. Will you sell it? The other party says, okay, done. 5 lakh rupees, agreed. So this consideration amount is something which is already a part of your offer and acceptance. And consideration, there is a misconception that consideration is purely on the basis of money. It's not so. Consideration can be even without monetary consideration. Like in the situation between Ishita and her dad, there was a consideration of giving that phone. So money was not involved. So consideration is a part of the terms of your agreement. Having said that, if that agreement has a legal enforceability, then it will become a contract. All right. So offer plus acceptance becomes agreement. Agreement plus legal enforceability becomes a contract. Now, there are so many situations where one person accepts the offer and then the person who has made the offer wants to retract from it. कि नहीं शायद मार्केट में ज्यादा प्राइस मिल जाएगा, शायद गुड्स अब मुझे ही रख ले हैं, I don't want to sell it. But I have made an offer and it has been accepted. Then how do I retract? How do I revoke my offer? How do I withdraw my offer? How do I cancel my offer? Or if suppose somebody is offering to buy something at a price which is not acceptable to me, I want to sell that car, but not at 5 lakh rupees. I want 6 lakh rupees. So I will, on the contrary, ask you, do you want to buy it at 6 lakh rupees? So what am I doing? I'm making a counter offer. You go to the shopkeeper. You buy goods worth rupees 5,000. And you ask him, can I get a discount of 20%? I've bought goods worth rupees 5,000. Shopkeeper says, no, I can only give you a discount worth rupees, which is equivalent to 10%. Then he said, no, then I don't want to buy. In such a situation, is somebody in breach of a contract or an agreement? So we've understood one very interesting concept, that verbal contracts are not binding in India. Correct?
Yes,
We've
sir.
understood about counter offers. Now, this situation which we were discussing about right now, you are proposing to buy it for 5 lakhs. The result is there has been a counter offer of 6 lakh rupees. And then you say, no, I don't want to buy it. So if I have to speak in the legal language, offer, counter offer, rejection. So there has been no agreement. There never was an acceptance. So then how is this in this situation that somebody will be bound to either ways deliver the car or make the payment? Up now we've understood that verbal offers are not binding, right? Let me give you a very simple example of how contractual laws are so deeply rooted in your system that at every point in time in a day, you are somewhere or the other, once or twice in a day, you are bound by contracts. As simple as, no, it is Valentine's Day and Ananya decides to go on a date with a guy for dinner. Now, Ananya goes for dinner, orders food, The guy is very chivalrous and says, Ananya, I really want to come back on a second date. Please allow me to pay for the dinner. Ananya says, no, we will split. They both split the dinner bill, make the payment, go back home. What is the contract which people have agreed in over here? Sorry, people as in Ananya and her date has agreed in over here. Was there a contract in any sense?
No, I guess.
No, an
Yes.
agreement.
Anyone thinks there was any sort of contract over here?
No, sir.
No? Now there was one contract, which was an unsaid contract. It was an implied contract, which we deal with every day in our life, in a day-to-day life, but we never realize that we are entering into a contract. When Ananya went with her date for that dinner, she has entered into a contract with that restaurant. That
Yes,
boss,
sir.
I'm ordering this. Once you serve me with the food and I'm done with eating, I will make a payment for this food. That was an implied contract. There was an offer which was made. There was an acceptance. There was a legal consideration, legal enforcement. So there was a contract. Today, if Ananya failed to make the payment for the food that she had, she's in a breach of a contract with that restaurant. So in our day-to-day lives, there are so many instances when you enter into a contract. You are, let's say, Stephen is waiting at the bus stop, has bought a ticket for a bus from Mumbai to Pune. Stephen sits in that bus, enjoys good music with good views, reaches Pune, gets down, goes to meet his friend, chills. Has Stephen entered into a contract here with anyone?
Maybe with the bus conductor.
Exactly. Stephen has entered into a contract with the bus agency. What was the contract? I am paying an amount. You have to transport me from one place to the other. If the bus did not show up, Stephen has a right to sue him. So, in our day-to-day lives, there are so many instances where without expressly saying that, okay, we are entering into a contract, you impliedly enter into contracts. Such contracts are called as implied contracts. What are these contracts called? Implied contracts. And when you sit down, make an agreement, sign it, get it notarized, or get it registered, those are express contracts. Okay. We've understood what offer is. We've understood what acceptance is. We've understood what consideration is. We've understood what implied contracts are, what express contracts are. Back in the time when we were understanding the interpretation of statutes, there was one case law which we had done with respect to invitation to treat. And that time we had discussed one small topic of invitation for a offer. Yes, we remember. Do we remember that, guys? We had taken the example of Chroma. That if you go to Chroma and see a hoarding outside saying that iPhone 15 Pro flat 50,000 rupees with an asterisk. Asterisk बोलते हैं ना, हाँ, star. Then you go inside and you tell them that, give me the iPhone 15 Pro for 50,000 rupees. The Chroma store guy says, no, it's out of stock. Can you sue that Chroma guy?
Sir.
No.
Why? There was a hoarding outside. You went inside, you said, I want to buy. So
Because
in
they are
Chroma has not given an offer. Chroma has given an invitation to offer. When you go to a restaurant, in the menu card, you see your most loved dish. You call the waiter and you place an order for that dish. The waiter says, sorry, we cannot serve this today. It's out of stock. The menu card was an invitation to offer. Once you go inside the restaurant, you are making an offer which is accepted by the restaurant. ये Zomato Swiggy ऐसे नहीं बोलते your order is accepted. It is a formal intimation to you of agreeing to get into a contract with you. So that is why when Zomato fails to deliver the order, you ask for a refund. That there was a contract that I will pay if I'm delivered food. Clear? The concept of offer, acceptance of offer, invitation to offer, all of this is clear, guys? Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts? Okay. Let's now read from our textbook the contents that we have. Yes. Tanvi, please start reading.
An offer is a proposal for initiating a contract to an offeree. It implies the willingness to be bound in case of acceptance. An offer must be certain and vague. For example, it should say 100 units and not some units. It should say to Jeffrey Archer from Agatha Christie instead of whomsoever it may concern for someone. It should say I'm willing to sell XYZ items instead of I have XYZ items. An ideal offer would be something like this. To Mogambo from Mr. India, please provide 500 units of invisibility watches at the price of 50,000 per piece. Offer is effective once it is made orally, delivered to the offeree's place of business or habitual residence. Offer can be ended by withdrawal, revocation, rejection, counter offer. Offer cannot be revoked if it says it is irrevocable or if it allows the offeree time to think about the offer. During this thinking period, the offer cannot be withdrawn. It is reasonable for the offeree to assume it is irrevocable. For example, all previous offers from the offerer have been irrevocable.
So what is this? This part is talking about established practice. Coming back to the initial part, an offer must be certain and not vague. यहाँ पे एक not add कर दो यार, certain and vague नहीं होना चाहिए, certain and not vague. वो typographical error है. Just add a not over here. I say that I have an iPhone. So Tanvi sends me 50,000 rupees. Sir, I'm buying your iPhone. Arey bhai, did I make an offer? No. So it was a generic and vague statement. But if I say, I want to sell my iPhone, is that an offer?
Yes.
No, it's not. I say I want to sell my iPhone. How is that certain? What price do I want to sell it at? When do I want to sell it at? I want to sell my iPhone, but after 5 years. So how is that an offer? It is an invitation to offer. So when I say I want to sell my iPhone, then we will come to me, okay, sir, I want to buy your iPhone. Is that an offer? That's again a counter invitation to offer. That, okay, I'm willing to buy the iPhone. You give me an offer. What price are you looking to sell it for? Then I will say 50,000. Then he's like, no, very expensive. I'm a student. I can't afford 50,000 rupees. So I will say, okay, now you tell me how much you want to buy it for. So she says, I can only pay 40,000 because that's all I have the savings for. Is that an offer? Yes, that's again an offer. So now when you go back to that street vendor who you negotiate and bargain with for a pair of earrings, Tanvi, imagine how many times you are making an offer and you're getting a counter offer and then you are again making a counter offer. Offer, counter offer, counter offer, invitation to offer. So many concepts are involved. And finally, when that shopkeeper, that stall guy says, okay, madam, le lo, 500 rupiya kam dena, le lo. That is his acceptance to the offer, the final offer which you had made. And then while that currency exchange, suddenly the guy says, Madam, 100 rupees और दे दो ना. That is one more offer, invitation. That, please, 100 rupees more. Then Tanvi says, okay. That is again an acceptance to that offer. So, in a normal day-to-day life, this is the role which the law of contract plays around you. And this is the route which we all know, which we all are aware about. But just the terminology is something which you are reading now. You know, a lot of times you might buy something from the road or from the stalls or from a shop, and then one day later you go back and say, "Arey, ye maza nahi aayi, there's something broken, or this is the color I don't like," or anything. And the shopkeeper says, "Goods once sold cannot be returned." क्या है ये? This is basically him telling you to adhere to your contract. What was the contract? The contract was purchase for an amount. So the shopkeeper is insisting on agreeing to the terms agreed under that contract. And after a couple of times, when you've done with insisting, you're like, "Arey, chhod, ye nahi maan raha hai." What is that? That is you submitting to the contract that you have signed or accepted. Now, a bill which is given to you is also a contract. When they have a warranty period in it, what is a warranty period? It's a contract between you and that shopkeeper. That if in the warranty period something goes wrong, you will be facilitated with repair works. When Ananya had gone on a date and had ordered food, if the food was not up to the taste or not up to the mark, Ananya can send that food back to make it as per the requirement. A lot of times, a very common example, let's take a few vegetarians don't consume mushrooms, correct? So when they go to a pizza place, they say, I want one vegetable cheese pizza without mushrooms. Cut to the pizza comes, very delicious, looks, you have a bite and you're like, oh fuck, this is mushroom. You call the guy and you send that pizza back. Why? Because the terms of the offer and acceptance, that is the contract, were that I want a pizza without mushrooms. So next time you go and you order a food item which is not up to the mark, say you are in breach of contract, I'll sue you. पागल समझेगा, बोलना मत ऐसा असली में. But essentially that's the case, right guys? So an offer, an acceptance, and its legal enforceability is not something which you all are reading or understanding for the first time. Simplicity, the terms are something which you are understanding for the first time. The nomenclature is something which you are now reading and understanding. That how is an offer? ये सारे जो points लिखे हैं यहाँ पे, that it should be certain and not vague. It should, mention what quantity you want or what amount you pay. All of this you all already know. But it's just something you are conceptually you've known that. You are penning it down on paper right now. So an ideal offer would be something like this: to Mogambo from Mr. India, please provide 500 units of invisibility watches at price of 50,000 per piece. So when you send a WhatsApp message to a friend saying that, hey, I want to borrow your power bank. Can I have it for a day? I am leaving for a one-day trip on Tuesday. So the friend says, oh, bro, I am out of power bank. I will have to buy one. So are you interested in buying one power bank where we can split the cost? So the other guy says, yeah, okay, done. You buy one power bank. This guy goes and buys the power bank. And then this guy does not pay his half. and demands for using the power bank. So can this friend say no? Yes, because the agreement was that they will both pay for it. So this is something which we deal with in day-to-day life. So offer can be effective once it's made orally, delivered to the offeree's place of business or habitual residence. So अगर मैंने एक courier भेजा है with a offer letter for you to join my company, so you can either accept that offer or reject that offer. But once that offer is made and you have signed and said, okay, I accept, and you delivered that by courier or post to the company can't come back to you and say, I'm retracting the offer without cause. Of course, if there is a cause, then there is a separate deal altogether. So an offer can be ended by withdrawal. Before that offer letter reaches you, the HR calls you and says, we've already dispatched an offer letter, but please don't consider that, discard that. That is not the actual offer letter. There is a mistake in that. Offer has been withdrawn by that company before it even reached you. Revocation. I'm sending you an offer. Before you reply, I tell you I'm revoking the offer. Or the fact that, a lot of times we say offer is valid only for 7 days. So on the 8th day, the offer has automatically been revoked. Clear? Rejection. काफी सारे लड़के अभी एकदम अवेयर हो गए कि हाँ ये तो मेरा फोटे है. You know what rejection is? अरे क्योंकि we go to buy goods in the market, no guys, what are you all thinking? We go to buy goods, we try and negotiate, and we don't get the price that we are asking for. That's when we get rejection. Right? James is smiling, and how? So rejection is where you have made an offer, you have made a proposal, and you've not got acceptance. So that's what you call as rejection of the offer. And of course, the last option is counter offer. You've proposed for something, some certain price. The shopkeeper is giving you their price. So that means the shopkeeper is giving you a counter offer. Clear? Now offer cannot be revoked if it says it's irrevocable, reasonable. ये तो अपन ने कर लिया already, that is established practice. Invitation to treat. Of course, we've understood what invitation to an offer is. Where somebody is inviting you to come and make an offer. That's called as invitation to offer. So all your hoardings, all your advertisements, most of the times are essentially invitation to offer. Your restaurant's menu card is an invitation to offer. Rejection, when somebody does not accept the offer, it's called as rejection. Clear? To Raj from Simran, I have 100 quintals of sugar cane. Is this an offer? Yes,
No,
Stephen, is this an
No.
offer?
he's
No.
not. Yeah,
No,
he's not
there's no willing
having any
to sell.
amount. He's not willing to sell.
There's nothing written like I will sell XYZ.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So there is no certainty. This is vague. Clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. Acceptance. Now, like how we said that, there are certain offers and contracts which are implied. Acceptance is also sometimes implied. I'll tell you how. 2 o'clock in the morning, you all are out on a drive with your friends. You all, feel thirsty. You'll stop by for a cold drink, go to a medical store, get 2 bottles of, let's say, Thumbs Up. And since it's midnight, nobody is so much interested in talking or having a conversation. So rather than saying anything, you simply sit there, put a 100 rupees note on the desk. You take 2 Thumbs Up bottles, which cost 50 rupees each, and you put a 100 rupees note on the counter. The guy takes that 100 rupees, puts it in his drawer, and gives you a carry bag. So without any conversation, without any explicit interaction. You have made an offer to buy the 2 thumbs up bottles. He has accepted it by the act of accepting the 100 rupees.
सर आपकी आवाज कट रही.
Is it better now, guys?
Yes,
Yes.
sir, better now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I'm saying without any explicit form of acceptance, any explicit communication of acceptance, by the act, it was implied acceptance. Clear? An acceptance of an offer is not valid if it does not reach the offerer in the fixed time mentioned. Like I said that, this offer is valid for 1 week. You send me an acceptance after 3 days, 3 weeks. It's not something which is acceptable. Offer was made orally but not accepted immediately. अब यार मैं आज बोलता हूँ that I want to buy this car for 5 lakh rupees. Suddenly the next day something happens and all of a sudden there's a shortage in the market for a car, for that particular car, and the price shoots up from 5 lakh to 7 lakh. So मैंने क्या बोला था, I want to sell this car for 5 lakh rupees. मैंने suppose मान लीजिए I call Tanvi and I say, Tanvi, I have this car, I want to sell it for 5 lakh rupees. Tanvi said, yaar, I'm going shopping, I'll call you later. Hangs up the phone. Now 3 weeks later, all of a sudden in the morning, I see 5 lakh rupees cash outside my door and the car keys from the parking are gone. The car, Tanvi comes and takes it. Tanvi is saying, I accepted the offer that you made that day. So I will be like, अरे boss, offer कब दिया था, acceptance कब आ रहा है, ऐसे कैसे चलेगा? So if it's a verbal offer, you have to accept it at that very point. And your failure to acceptance is an implication.
सर आपकी voice
Again,
For yes. I'm sorry guys. Is it better now?
Yes, sir.
Hello. मैं कुछ भी नहीं रहा, पता मैं सिर्फ बोल रहा हूँ अपने आप good bad हो रहा है. So anyways, I was at a point of acceptance in time. So if I'm making an offer and it's not accepted at that very moment, or within a reasonable amount of time, if Tanvi is like, Are give me 10 minutes, I'll call you back. 10 minutes later, she calls you back and she accepts it, then that is an offer, an acceptance, and a legal enforceable contract. I'll call you back in 10 minutes बोल के तन्वी का मुझे कॉल आता है 10 दिन बाद. तो it's possible if that within those 10 days, I have sold the car to somebody else. But if I tell Tanvi, I'm giving you 7 days time, you let me know if you want to buy my car for X amount. Then I cannot say, now I don't want to sell. Okay? Clear?
Okay.
All right. Just like the offer, even acceptance can be withdrawn before it reaches the offerer. So like for instance, if I have made an offer and that acceptance is in transit, before it reaches, if I call and say, I don't want to accept that offer, please discard that acceptance. And that is also something which is a valid cancellation of acceptance. Clear? Contract may be modified by mutual agreement of the parties. So both parties can, of course, mutually agree to and amend the contract. No stress on that. Two legal firms, Pearson Hardman and Porsche and Bassanio, usually signify acceptance to a settlement deal by sending a particular poster to each other's. Sorry, excuse me. Poster to each other's head office. Can this be accepted as a proper acceptance in court? Yes, because it's something which is a regular practice between the two parties. So it's an established practice. Clear? An offer letter dated for sent to Benjamin with a deadline of 7 days on Saturday 20th Jan. The following Monday and Tuesday were a holiday. When is acceptance due? 27th Jan, 30th Jan, 29th Jan. Yes, guys?
I guess 27.
27th only, right?
So here there is one thing which is very clear, that 30th Jan is out of the picture. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So this part of 30th should be
Your voice is breaking.
Your voice is breaking.
calculation. Yeah, is it better now, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Any calculation you do, you're not going to end up with 30th Jan. So that option is out of the window. Now you have two options left with you, the 27th Jan or 29th Jan. Now the offer letter which was sent, nowhere is it explicitly mentioned in the question that it said 7 working days. Since that is not mentioned, your answer will be A, 27 Jan. Clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. Before starting Incoterms, we'll take a short break of 10 minutes and we'll come back and start at 4 o'clock. All right. Okay. All right, guys, let's resume. Please switch your cameras on, everyone. Any doubts, any difficulties with respect to the topic which we've covered up till now, guys? The contracts, offer, acceptance. Yes, anyone? Guys, Rachel, Vansh, Stephen, Dhruv, Suman, Ayan, Tanu, Jasneet, Ramya, Simran. Okay, now the topic which we are going to cover in this chapter, the last topic which we are going to look into, is a very crucial topic because it's not something which is commonly known by people. It's not something which a lot of people are even aware about something like this existing. And that is what, once you are able to understand this very clearly and very, in that sense, in detail, this will help you to stand out of the crowd. Because not everybody will be well versed with these terms. Not everybody will be well versed with what type of procedure is followed with this. So what we are going to now study is Incoterms. What are these Incoterms? These Incoterms are basically standard delivery terms, जिसमें now let's start with an example. For an instance, Mohit and Durvesh are in an international trade. Mohit stays in India, Durvesh stays in, let's say, Australia. ठीक है? तो मोहित इंडिया में कहाँ पे रहता है? मोहित रहता है इंडिया में, दिल्ली में, फॉर इंस्टेंस. और मोहित का और दुर्वेश का डील ऐसा है कि शिप से आप गुड्स भेजोगे. अब दिल्ली इज अ लैंड सराउंडेड बाय लैंड फ्रॉम ऑल फोर कॉर्नर्स. तो हाउ विल वी सेंड इट बाय शिप? तो सर क्या बोलते हैं कि मैं पहले यहाँ से चेन्नई भेजूंगा बाय फ्लाइट. नाउ पोस्ट इट रीचिंग चेन्नई, वहां से पोर्ट में अपन ट्रांसफर करेंगे फ्रॉम इन द शिप फ्रॉम चेन्नई टू ऑस्ट्रेलिया. तो अभी इसमें if during transit something happens to the goods, who is responsible? Is Mohit responsible? Is Durvesh responsible? Who will be responsible? Let's say दिल्ली से चेन्नई गुड्स जा रहे हैं, तो एयरक्राफ्ट में लोड करते वक्त या अनलोड करते वक्त डैमेज हो गए. Then who will be the one who is going to claim responsibility for the damage? Is it going to be Mohit or is it going to be Durvesh?
It
Because
depends on the contract, like
precisely. So what terms you've agreed in the contract is something which will be deciding who is going to have to compensate for that liability which is imposed. Clear? Very simple understanding. Now, tell me something. In a situation where goods are going from one country to the other country, there are multiple layers which it has to pass through. Customs ho gaya, duty ho gaya, taxes ho gaya. All of this compliances needs to be done. Interstate में भी कितने सारे compliances आ जाते हैं. तो international में तो of course there are so many hurdles which needs to be cleared. So Incoterms is essentially the standard delivery terms where they show the shift of liability from the seller to the purchaser. Key boss, after this point, if anything goes wrong with the goods, it is the buyer's responsibility. So एक टर्म ऐसा स्टार्टिंग में एक है एक्स वर्क्स करके, वो क्या बोलता है कि टिल द रेलिंग ऑफ द शिप, जब तक गुड्स मेरे उस शिप के रेलिंग तक नहीं पहुंचते तब तक मेरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है. या फिर एक टर्म है जो बोलता है कि सॉरी, एक्स वर्क्स इज बेसिकली टिल माय गोडाउन, मेरे वेयरहाउस तक मेरा रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है. द मिनट दुर्वेश कम्स एंड कलेक्ट्स इट फ्रॉम मोहित्स वेयरहाउस, इट्स दुर्वेश's रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. वैसे धीरे धीरे करके लाइबिलिटी थोड़ी थोड़ी बढ़ती जाती है, शिफ्ट होती जाती है. सो एक होता है स्टार्ट में अप टिल द वेयर हाउस, दूसरा होता है टिल द पोर्ट, टर्मिनल तक पहुंचने तक की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी मेरी है, फिर तुम्हारी है. तीसरा हो जाता है शिप में लोड करने तक की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी इज माइन, देन द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी इज योर्स. देन वन इज दैट फॉर द ड्यूरेशन ऑफ द शिप the responsibility is mine as a buyer, sorry, as a seller. then it's shifted to the buyer. Then one is until the ship reaching the coast and unloading, the responsibility is mine, then the responsibility shifts to yours. Then one is until the ship reaching the terminal, unload होके terminal चले जाती है, terminal से वापस load होती है, it will go in the truck or whatsoever means of transport. So till that loading, my responsibility, then yours. Then one is तुम्हारे डोर स्टेप तक लाने की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी मेरी है, फिर इट इज योर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. एंड द वन इज की डोर स्टेप तक ला के तुम्हारे वेयर हाउस में फिटिंग करने तक की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी मेरी है, देन इट्स योर. उसके बाद तो मतलब कुछ बचा ही नहीं ना, डिलीवरी पूरा कंप्लीट हो गया. सो स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम the buyer coming to purchase it from my warehouse, collect it from my warehouse, where I have zero responsibility in the delivery, to my entire responsibility of making it reach the seller's place of business. Okay. So the first one is like how you initially used to go to buy goods. You go to the shopkeeper, you purchase the goods, and then you yourself carry it back to your home. Clear? The last one is like Amazon. From placing order till it reaching to your doorstep, the responsibility is of Amazon. ठीक है, very simple guys. Simplicity, you have to understand responsibility shift कहाँ से कहाँ तक हो रही है इसमें, because we are talking about tons and tons of goods, the amount involved is also very high. Now because the amount involved is very high, insurance is also a very big factor which plays in, that who is going to purchase the insurance, what type of insurance is supposed to be purchased, is it a general insurance, is it a full cover insurance, वो कैसे टाइप का इंश्योरेंस है. बहुत टाइम क्या होता है कि the buyer will not be given the whole insurance, he will only be given a general insurance. So if any further insurance is required for additional safety, then that is something the seller has to do is on his own. So let's read what these Incoterms are and how to go about these Incoterms. Yes, Vansh, please read this for me, the first 5 points.
Oh, sorry.
Vansh,
I thought I was done. It's fine. Incoterms. So Incoterms is an abbreviation of international contract terms. They are a standard collection of contract terms published by the International Chamber of Commerce, ICC. Most international sale of goods contract use these standards. And here the point of transfer liabilities is very important. The understanding of the responsibilities of the seller and buyer are also very important. E, F, C, and D terms basically indicate the first letter of the first word of that group of Incoterms.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
So essentially ये क्या बोल रहा है कि okay, sorry, a quick thing, these small one-liners are also very important part of your MCQs, that who publishes the Incoterms. So there will be 4 options, World Trade Organization, ये वो 4 चीज दे देंगे और एक होगा ICC. Your answer is ICC. ठीक है. So these small one-liners are also very important. I'll keep giving you all to mark it so that you can then keep it in your mind. Yeah. Now, of course, I told you all this is for international sale of goods. These are standard terms of delivery. कैसे किस पे responsibility कब होती है, कब switch होती है. E, F, C, and D terms, basically they are the first letter of the group of that term. So it's easier for you all to remember. All right. All right. Term 1 is X works. Seller's responsibility ends when he makes goods available to the seller at his own place of business. जो मैंने बोला initial सबसे पहली चीज की, you come to my place and you collect your goods. So I have zero responsibility. My only responsibility is to make it available for you to come and collect the delivery. Clear? X works, very simple. Then comes main carriage unpaid, F terms. Okay, free on board. So this is specific to the delivery through ship. Seller is responsible for the goods until they pass the railing of a ship on a specified port of ship. So basically railing of the ship मतलब क्या बोल रहा है कि जब तक वो बोर्ड नहीं हो जाती है शिप में, तब तक मेरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है एज अ सेलर. क्लियर? एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट इसमें क्या है, सेलर bears the responsibility of clearing the goods for export. Think of it from a perspective of when you go to the airport. So, you know, before immigration, the security check and all of that happens. पेपर वर्क, अगर गुड्स होंगे तो पेपर वर्क होता है. When you individually, as you go as a traveler, you have your boarding pass and your luggage baggage tag and all of that, your visa and whatsoever is required for you to basically board that flight. So that paperwork has to be cleared by the seller. So उसमें अगर कहीं पे कुछ अटकता है, कुछ प्रॉब्लम आती है, then it's seller is the one who's responsible for it. Security concerns होते हैं, your goods, what all needs to be included, what all not allowed, all of that needs to be taken care of. All right. The buyer is, sorry, in that one, the buyer is responsible for bearing costs of the goods once they are placed on the ship. सबसे पहला क्या था? You come to my warehouse, collect it. My responsibility ends when I make it available at warehouse. दूसरा क्या है? I will from my warehouse get the goods to the port and put it inside the ship. Then it's your responsibility. अब ship भी कौन सा होगा वो तुम्हें मुझे बताओगे. I'm not going to book the ship for you. You will just tell me this is the ship. I have to come and put it in that. Third one is free carrier. Free carrier क्या है? That my responsibility ends when I hand it over to a carrier named by the buyer. So इसमें कैसा होता है कि not only just the railing of the ship, but I have to make sure that it goes to the same carrier or the agent who is named by the buyer. So ऐसा नहीं है कि मेरे को सिर्फ शिप पे डाल देना, बाकी तुम तुम्हारा देख लो. फिर इसमें have to make sure कि बहुत बार क्या होता है in one ship. Now just for your clarity, a lot of these terms might be overlapping, but that does not mean that they are the same. क्योंकि of course if I am going one step ahead, तो अभी जैसे फर्स्ट वाले में क्या था, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ माइन एंडेड व्हेन द गुड्स आर मेड अवेलेबल एट द वेयरहाउस. सेकंड वाले में क्या है, शिप तक पहुंचाना है. सो व्हेन आई से हैव टू मेक इट रीच द शिप, दैट मींस दैट ऑफ कोर्स वेयरहाउस तक की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी तो है ही. ओवर एंड अबाउट द वेयरहाउस रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, आई हैव द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ टेकिंग इट टू द शिप. क्लियर? सो ऑफ कोर्स देयर इज एन ओवरलैप इन दिस. नाउ द थर्ड वन इज, a lot of times what happens in a ship, there are various carriers and agents who are present and who carry their goods. So I have to make sure that not only the goods go on the ship, but they reach to that particular carrier or that agent. Clear? Now, the reason why it becomes difficult to understand also a lot because we think of it from a very smaller scale of perspective. कि अरे goods है, कितना ही होगा, क्या होगा. These are tons and tons of goods we are talking about. Like 200 kgs, 2 tons, 5 tons, 50 tons. वैसे big cargo ships का बात कर रहे हैं, ठीक है? So F terms are clear: free on board, free alongside ship, and free carrier. Yes. Next one comes main carriage paid. इसके पहले वाला क्या था? F terms, carriage unpaid. Right? This is main carriage paid. So the first one was X works. Second one was free on board. Third one is free alongside ship. Fourth one is free carrier. 4 Incoterms are clear, guys. Fifth one, cost and freight. अब बेसिकली ये क्या बोल रहा है कि जो शिप का कॉस्ट है, जो ले जाने का कॉस्ट है, वो मैं पे कर दूंगा. जो आपका कैरियर है, एजेंट है, जो भी आप बोल रहे हो, उसका पेमेंट मैं कर दूंगा. रेस्ट देन एवरीथिंग एल्स इज योर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. नेक्स्ट वन सेज कैरियर के कॉस्ट के साथ साथ मैं आपको एक जनरल इंश्योरेंस भी लाके दूंगा. बट उसके बाद का जो कुछ भी है वो सब तुम्हारा रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है. इसके बाद वाला CIFR और CIF, अभी तीसरा वाला CPT जो है, वो क्या बोल रहे हैं? कैरियर्स तो पे करूंगा, जो भी एक्सपोर्ट का टैक्स वगैरह जो भी 4 चीजों का वो भी मैं पे करूंगा. सो बेसिकली माय रोल इन कैरियज पेड टू CPT में क्या है कि मैं, अगर ऑस्ट्रेलिया की बात हुई है, तो वहां तक का जितना खर्चा है ऑस्ट्रेलिया पहुंचने तक का, ऑल दोज एक्सपेंसेस विल बी बोर्न बाय मी एंड अरेंजमेंट्स एंड मैनेजमेंट्स विल बी डन बाय मी. क्लियर? Carriage and insurance paid में क्या है? Management will be done by me and an insurance will also be given by me. So now a very small difference between CIF and CIP is, CIF में मैं क्या करता हूँ, मैं तुमको कैरियर का कॉस्ट पे कर दूंगा और इंश्योरेंस लाके दे दूंगा. CIP में क्या करूँगा? कैरियर का कॉस्ट भी पे करूंगा, एक्सपोर्ट के सारे जो पेमेंट्स, टैक्सेस, चार्जेस है वो भी पे करूंगा, तुमको इंश्योरेंस भी लाके दूंगा, एंड आई विल मेक श्योर दैट योर गुड्स रीच ऑस्ट्रेलिया. ठीक है? क्लियर?
Yes.
Anyone else? Yes, Suraj?
In CPT also we are giving the insurance, if I'm not wrong.
No, CPT is not insurance. CPT is only your export charges, your carriage and all of that is paid. Insurance is not paid. That's the difference between CPT and CIP.
Okay,
CIP
sir.
is the same as CPT, बस उसमें सिर्फ इंश्योरेंस ऐड कर दो. ठीक है. सो अगर CPT में मैं इंश्योरेंस पे कर रहा हूं, दैट मींस दैट इज CIP. ठीक है, क्लियर?
Yes,
ऑल
sir.
राइट. सो अब तक अपन ने क्या पढ़ा? एक्सवर्क्स मतलब वेयरहाउस पे, फ्री ऑन बोर्ड मतलब शिप तक, फ्री अलोंगसाइड शिप मतलब कैरियर तक और एजेंट तक. फ्री कैरियर तक क्या है कि मतलब जब तक उसके पास नहीं पहुंचती है चीजें, तब तक का जो भी क्लियर कराना है एक्सपोर्ट का कॉस्ट और सब कुछ, वो मैं देखूंगा. आई विल बी रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर दैट. ठीक है. योर स्क्रूटिनी, योर एक्सपोर्ट चार्जेस, टैक्सेस, ऑल दैट विल बी पेड बाय मी. कॉस्ट एंड फ्रेट में क्या है? योर कैरियर चार्जेस विल आल्सो बी पेड बाय मी. कॉस्ट इंश्योरेंस एंड फ्रेट में क्या है कि कैरियर चार्ज तो पे करूंगा ही, साथ साथ इंश्योरेंस भी दूंगा. कैरियज पेड में क्या है कि तुमको मैं कॉस्ट पे कर रहा हूँ कैरियज का, तुमको मैं क्लियरेंस करा के दे रहा हूँ. ओवर एंड अबव दैट तुम्हारे उधर के जो टैक्स कंप्लायंसेस रहेंगे वो भी आई विल गेट इट डन फॉर यू. कैरियज एंड इंश्योरेंस पेड में क्या है? आई विल डू ऑल द कंप्लायंसेस प्लस आई विल गिव यू एन इंश्योरेंस. क्लियर?
Yes.
ये सारे चीजें हैं ओनली फॉर शिपमेंट्स. कैरियज की बातें हैं, ट्रांजिट की बातें हैं. नाउ कम्स डिलीवरी. डी टर्म्स. डिलीवरी एट टर्मिनल. I will unload the ship, say goods, place it at a terminal for you to come and collect it from there. ऑस्ट्रेलिया की बात हुई है तो मेलबर्न के पोर्ट तक मैं पहुंचा दूंगा, देन इट्स योर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. सो वहां का सारा कस्टम वगैरह जो सब क्लियर करना है वो सब करवा के, ऑल यू नीड टू डू इज सेंड इन समबडी टू कलेक्ट द गुड्स फ्रॉम द टर्मिनल. क्लियर? नेक्स्ट इज डिलीवरी एट प्लेस. डिलीवरी एट प्लेस क्या है कि आई विल ब्रिंग इट टू द डिस्पोजल ऑफ द बायर. जैसे कि वेयर हाउस में पहले क्या था कि मेरे वेयर हाउस पे रहेगा, वैसे मैं तुम्हारे वेयर हाउस तक या तुम्हारे प्लेस तक लाके रख दूंगा. सो डिलीवरी टिल योर प्लेस. क्लियर? डिलीवरी ड्यूटी पेड. नाउ दिस इज सिमिलर टू डिलीवरी एट प्लेस, but over here the seller delivers the goods when the goods are placed at disposal of the buyer, cleared for import, on arriving means of transport ready for unloading at the name place of destination. मतलब उधर का जो डिलीवरी का जो लोकल डिलीवरी के चार्जेस भी है, export charges, everything till your doorstep is being borne by me. In fact, doorstep पे लाके उतार के देने का responsibility भी मेरा है. So each and every till the goods reach the buyer's warehouse in the place where it is supposed to be stored, every responsibility is mine. So DDP is the exact opposite of Xworks. सबसे पहला वाला जो था. Clear? Anyone, any doubts, any issues, any problems?
So
Yes,
what's the
no?
difference between free alongside ship and free carrier?
श्री फ्री अलोंगसाइड शिप एंड फ्री कैरियर के बीच में सिर्फ इंश्योरेंस का डिफरेंस है. नहीं, सॉरी, नो, माय बैड. इसमें तो इंश्योरेंस होता ही नहीं है. इसमें द डिफरेंस इज विद क्लियरिंग फॉर एक्सपोर्ट. मतलब फ्री अलोंगसाइड शिप में क्या है, मेरा काम क्या है कि तुमको शिप तक गुड्स लाके देने का इनसाइड टिल द एजेंट हु इज असाइंड. ठीक है. सो फॉर एन इंस्टेंस लेट्स से दिस इज गोइंग बाय शिप ऑफ ब्लू डार्ट. तो बहुत बार क्या होता है, ये लोग क्या करते हैं, एक शिप के अंदर ब्लू डार्ट भी है और बाकी 3 कंपनीज के भी एलोकेशंस होंगे. तो माय जॉब इज टू मेक इट रीच योर पर्टिकुलर एजेंट्स का चेंबर और कैबिन और व्हाटएवर इट इज. ठीक है. नाउ द डिफरेंस बिटवीन फ्री अलोंगसाइड शिप एंड फ्री कैरियर इज दैट वो जो क्लियरिंग के लिए जो लगता है कस्टम ड्यूटी के चार्जेस, टैक्सेस, इंपोर्ट चार्जेस, वो सारे चार्जेस भी मैं बोन करूँ. So it has to be cleared for export. तुम्हारा काम सिर्फ क्या है, वो एजेंट्स के थ्रू गुड्स कलेक्ट करना, उधर गुड्स अंदर डालने तक की पूरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी मेरी आती है. क्लियर?
Yes, sir.
Anyone else, any other doubts, queries?
Sir, can you again explain DAP, sorry, delivery at place and DDP?
Delivery at place and delivery duty paid.
Yes, sir.
See, delivery at place is basically क्या है कि the seller will deliver the goods at the disposal of the buyer. Arrival for transport ready for unloading at the name place of destination. मतलब तुम्हारे गैरेज तक या तुम्हारे वेयरहाउस तक मैं लाके दूंगा, फिर उसके बाद का रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी तुम्हारा है. डिलीवरी ड्यूटी पेड क्या बोलता है कि मैं तुम्हारे वेयरहाउस में अंदर डाल के दूंगा तुम unload. So basically the issue which is coming here is what unloading charges are also very heavy. तुमको जब गुड्स को ट्रक से नीचे उतारवाना होता है एंड उसको वहां से ले जाके तुमको तुम्हारे वेयरहाउस में स्टोर करना होता है ना, दैट ऑल्सो हैज अ गुड sufficient amount of cost involved. So at delivery duty paid, what they are trying to say is the word itself says delivery की जो ड्यूटी लगती है, जो cost which is taken for the delivery from the loading of the goods to the unloading at your place, that पूरा cost is covered by me. So सारा कस्टम का हो गया, सब कुछ, ईच एंड एवरीथिंग इज कवर्ड बाय मी. क्योंकि वी नीड टू रियलाइज नो दैट दिस इज नॉट बॉम्बे से दिल्ली माल जा रहा है. दीज गुड्स आर गोइंग फ्रॉम इंडिया टू ऑस्ट्रेलिया. तो इंडियन लॉस को भी तुमको कस्टम्स वगैरह को मैनेज करना पड़ता है. यहाँ से जब जाता है तभी इमिग्रेशन में, वहां पे पहुंचने के बाद भी उसके कस्टम्स वगैरह होते हैं. उसमें फिर वहां पे इंटरनल क्या लॉज है, अगर वहां पे ऐसा है कि एक स्टेट से दूसरे स्टेट में जाने में तुमको अलग टैक्स लगेगा, तो वो भी तुमको पे करना होता है. फिर वहां पे अनलोडिंग करते टाइम जो कॉस्ट इंकर होगा कि द लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स these containers so huge they require cranes to be called and lifted up and then placed into their warehouse. So ये सारा जो each and every delivery duty paid is like Amazon. They will come to the final step and give you the goods. And delivery at place is like porter. पोर्टर क्या करता है, नीचे आके खड़ा हो जाएगा, वहां से घर तक ले जाने का काम तुम्हारा है. Clear? Anyone else? Any doubts? Any difficulties? Yes. Guys, Incoterms is very important for your exams. Huh? So make sure you are not taking it lightly and properly, seriously paying attention to what it is and what is the crux of these terms. All right. I think आज का क्लास थोड़ा ज़्यादा heavy हो गया ना? Too much of information coming in. तो तुमको क्या लगा, खाने का काम है, लॉ है? वो तो खाली फर्स्ट क्लास में बोलना होता है कि अरे बहुत इजी है, कुछ नहीं होगा, कुछ नहीं होगा. पहले ही क्लास में डर गए तो कोई लेक्चर अटेंड नहीं करेगा. स्कैम होता है गाइस. एनी प्रोफेसर कम्स एंड टेल यू माय बैच इज गोइंग टू बी वेरी इजी, यू डोंट हैव टू, नो, करना ही पड़ेगा, मेहनत तो करनी पड़ेगी. इट्स नॉट समथिंग दैट इज गोइंग टू बी लाइक अ पीस ऑफ केक. ये देखो हंस रहे, इमोजीज भेज रहे. पूरा वीक सोचो मस्त वीकेंड पे चिल करेंगे, सैटरडे को मैं आऊंगा तुम्हारा चिल हराम करने. See guys, the reason why these few conceptual parts are very important is because when you go for an audit, eventually जब आप, when you all will clear and everything will be done, when you go for an audit, what happens is, people already have this one very resistant behavior with the auditors. Like सौतेला behave करते auditor के साथ कि hey, this guy is going to screw my case, ये वो, this is there, you don't know so much also or what? Because they want to show that their part and their entire compliance and everything is in place from their side. Now today for you, you might not know their business. You are only going for the compliances, the stocks analysis, the risk analysis में क्या होता है कि कितना रिस्क लेना तुम्हारे लिए plausible था और तुमने actually कितना रिस्क लिया है. So in all these things, frauds, scams, पैसा कहाँ एक्स्ट्रा यूज हो गया, ये सब कहाँ पता चलता है तुमको? ये सारे लॉजिस्टिकल इश्यूज में, डिलीवरी हो गया, ये तुम्हारा कस्टम्स ड्यूटीज टैक्सेस चार्जेस, ये सारों में हाईएस्ट अमाउंट ऑफ पैसा वेस्ट होता है. क्यों? आई टेल यू द रीजन. इफ नाउ आई एम टेकिंग लेट्स से CIF और CIP, ठीक है। और उसके बाद मैं बता रहा हूँ कि मैंने पहले कॉन्ट्रैक्ट जब साइन किया, दिस इज अ वेरी पर्सनल एग्जांपल व्हिच आई एम टेकिंग बिकॉज़ आई हैव सीन पीपल catching these frauds and scams in big multi-level national companies. So what happens is contract was executed back in 2024 for example, ठीक है। 3 साल बाद 2025 में फाइनल डिलीवरी का ट्रांच आने वाला था। 2024 में in your contract while agreeing with the payment to the seller, you have agreed at a higher quote. Why? Because that seller was going to give you insurance, वो तुमको कैरियज पे करने वाला था एंड एवरीथिंग, ठीक है। 3 साल बाद जो थर्ड ईयर की बुक्स थी उसमें यू शोन इंश्योरेंस खरीदा मैंने मेरे गुड्स के लिए, मैंने कैरियज के चार्जेस पे किए डिलीवरी के। तो दैट इज द स्कैम दैट यू विल कैच की बॉस, इफ इट इज सीआईपी then your cost and insurance and freight is covered. Then how have you separately paid for insurance and cost? This is a wastage of money. And here when I'm talking about, I'm not talking about insurance की भाई फ्लाइट में जो अपने को देते 99 रुपीज में इंश्योरेंस कवर, this is not that. Here their insurance also cost in crores and crores of rupees. So when you are aware about what CIP terms are, what DDT, what DP terms are, only then will you be able to catch कि ये चोरी किया. But if you don't know what CIP terms are, you will not be able to understand. Oh, but fuck, cost तो included था इसमें, ये freight का charges अलग से क्यों लगा वापस यहाँ पे? So that is the crux of it, and this is why all these things will essentially minutely be in the back of the mind. And once you go back to a audit or something after 3 years, 4 years, or whatever time is left for you all to complete your ACCA, that if you read something, I'm not saying that you will have it by heart or you will remember everything, but you will know कि अच्छा हाँ CIP मैंने इनको टर्म में पढ़ा था। फिर एक दाढ़ी वाले इंसान की शक्ल याद आएगी, फिर तुम जाके वापस रिसर्च करोगे और पढ़ोगे। एटलीस्ट एक फेमिलियरिटी तो रहेगी ना चीजों के साथ, एंड दैट इज व्हाई ऑल दीज माइन्यूट कॉन्सेप्ट्स आर इंपॉर्टेंट। ऑफर एक्सेप्टेंस, व्हेन इज इट कंसिडर्ड लीगली एनफोर्सेबल, ये सब चीज तो क्रक्स है तुम्हारा यार सारे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स का। ऑडिटर का काम क्या होता है? पकड़ना कहाँ कहाँ तुमने गड़बड़ की है, राइट? तो जब तुमको पता ही नहीं है कि क्या करने से गड़बड़ हो सकती है, तो हाउ विल यू फाइंड आउट कहाँ गड़बड़ हुई है? After all, see, after this subject is over, I barely think anybody is going to focus in your syllabus. Everything will be practical after this. कि हाँ ये calculations कैसे करने हैं, ये derive कैसे करना है, ये कैसे analyze करना है, ये all of it is going to be practical aspect of it. This is the only time when you will get your basics clear. ठीक है? All right. How many of you all have done the arbitration wala home assignment? The flow of arbitration. I think two to three people have sent it to me. किसने किसने नहीं किया? Let's ask that. वो मजा आएगा ज्यादा।
I have done it, but not
अरे
much.
क्या?
नहीं, मेरे को समझ नहीं आया कि वो मैंने
भूल गए?
शॉर्ट में किया है या लॉन्ग में, तो मेरे को ऐसा था कि नहीं भेजना।
अच्छा, क्यों? क्या हो
मतलब
जाए?
किया है बट समझ सा नहीं आया कि सही किया है या नहीं, तो मैंने नहीं
तो
भेजा।
मैं उसीलिए हूं ना, अगर तुमको ही समझ जाएगा कि सही किया कि गलत किया, तो व्हाट इज माय रोल देन? ये अभी नाउ स्टूडेंट्स हैव दिस डिसएडवांटेज है, वीसी पे यू कांट से आई फॉरगॉट माय बुक एट होम। यू आर एट होम ओनली। और किसने नहीं किया? अच्छा वंश, हाँ वंश एज एन एक्सक्यूज, न्यू ज्वाइनी है। लेक्चर देखा है ना ऑनलाइन?
सर मैंने 1.5 देख लिया था, वो पूरा नहीं देख पाया, ऑडिट भी कर रहा हूँ साथ में एक्चुअली।
हाँ पर तो वो फर्स्ट हाफ में ही होम असाइनमेंट था।
वो साथ में तो देखा ही नहीं।
तो क्या देख रहा था? नेटफ्लिक्स देख रहा था क्या? ये मेरे को पता नहीं है फर्स्ट हाफ में था कि सेकंड हाफ में। आई एम जस्ट ब्लफिंग ब्रो, जस्ट चेक इट प्रॉपर्ली। एनीवेज नो स्ट्रेस, लेट्स गिव यू ऑल टाइम टिल टुमारो, ठीक है? व्हाट बेसिकली ऑल हैव टू डू इज I want you all to illustrate the flow and the process of arbitration from your start of arbitration agreement till your award. What all stages and steps are included. Clear? I think a lot of y'all were not there. I think James, you were also not there in that class. Soumya, you were not there in that class. Durvesh, you were not there. Prasanna, you were not there. Dibanshi, were you there?
No, sir, I wasn't there.
Because if you are there, I didn't see you.
No, sir, I joined today. It is my
Okay.
first class.
Okay. How was your first experience of trauma?
No, sir, it was good. Actually, I'm doing BCom, so I'm familiar with this offer and the
तो फिर
offer
किसी को कोई भी डाउट
contracting.
है, you will contact Devanshi, हाँ? All right. ठीक है, let's do this. Let's wrap up today early. I don't want to burden you with of information. ऐसा हो
Sir,
जाएगा कुछ भी याद ही नहीं है फिर. आवाज चली गई फिर से?
sir, can you see the homework again? वो मैं note down कर लूँ actually. Arbitration.
मैं यही करता रहता हूँ ना सर. तुम मत देखो वीडियो, लेक्चर मत देखो. The flow of arbitration process of how an arbitration starts, how you invoke an arbitration. So before that, you have to, of course, enter into an arbitration agreement. So from your arbitration agreement to the passing of arbitration award, a flowchart kind of a thing which illustrates the entire process. I don't want you all to write paragraphs and paragraphs. Just a small one flowchart with titles is enough.
Okay.
The reason why I'm asking you all to do this, when the last time also I asked you all for hierarchy of courts and all of that, is once you make a small flowchart kind of a thing, no, it creates a picture on your brain. That, and when you want to recollect it, you start relating that to that image which is there of the flowchart in your mind. So if you'll see in your notes also, probably at the end of every topic or the end of every chapter, there are small brain maps which are given. And at the last 3-4 pages, if you'll open your book, you'll see there are brain maps of each and every topic that we've covered. So back in that time, so this is a very proved logic. Back in the time when I was studying law, I used to, if a few sections are something that I'm not able to remember, recollect, just write it down and stick it on my board. So every morning when I see, it just quickly registers कि हाँ ठीक है, रोज तुम उसको दिन में 5 बार देखोगे तो it registers. So these brain maps also, if you continue to just look at them even once, it will not take more than 10-15 seconds. Just read down all what the pointers are in the brain map. So it will start getting registered. All right, clear? क्योंकि लेक्चर में तो सबको लगता है कि अरे आई हैव अंडरस्टूड एवरीथिंग, अब देखना ये एग्जाम में तो टॉप करूंगा. The minute the camera goes off and you are on your own with your textbook, ये क्या है, इनको terms क्या है, God knows what this is, DDP, DPD, all will go bouncer. So my only one request from you all is, once we're done with the class, before doing anything else, spare 5 extra minutes and read what we've discussed. So if anywhere you feel कि अरे ये एक चीज नहीं समझ आई है, ये एक issue आ रहा है, highlight it next day in the class. Before we start the class, you just ask me that. Clear? चलो, so let's wrap up. Tomorrow same time. यार प्लीज थोड़ा जल्दी ज्वाइन कर लिया करो. स्टार्टिंग के 15 मिनट सिर्फ तुम लोग का वेट करने में निकल जाता है. इतना वेट करता तो आज सिंगल नहीं होता. ठीक है? So let's try and join by 2 o'clock so that by 2:05 we can start the class. Yes, Jasneet?
Sir, the link of live lecture is not available in the Zell LM.
यार दोस्त लिंक नहीं है इसका. This is through that meeting ID. So it's, am I audible, guys?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Sir, just a second, I cannot hear this.
Am I audible now, bro?
Yes, sir. You are.
नहीं उसको तेरे को तो पहले की आवाज आ रही थी.
सर अभी अभी आ रही है आवाज अभी.
हाँ मैं बोल रहा हूँ ब्रो, इसमें there is no link as such. There is this meeting ID and password. I think that's how you all have also joined, no?
Yes, I have
You
also
joined
joined.
from email.
But
हाँ
प्रीवियस बैच में क्या था कि जेल एलएमएस पे ही लाइव लेक्चर का लिंक था.
but that process has changed now. It's a management decision. They have
Okay.
not kept it through LMS now. They are doing it individually, independently.
Okay, no
एक आध
problem.
दोस्त को भी ज्वाइन कराने करा ले.
ठीक है.
कि भाई I'm just kidding. From tomorrow I'll start bringing friends. They will take my case यार. Sir is encouraging free education. Sir is from BJP. Yes, Suraj.
Sir, actually, in doctrine of judicial precedents, there was given that if the material facts vary greatly, the precedent will only be binding. So is it a wrong statement or like
No, sorry, come again, please. If the material facts
vary
vary
greatly, the precedent will only be binding.
नहीं यार दिखाओ मेरे को which page you're at. I'm not able to comprehend this. One second.
Page number 16.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir, you are audible.
Yeah. हाँ मैं बोल रहा हूँ कौन सा पेज नंबर बोला 16 ना
16. Yes.
कहाँ पे ये रूल्स ऑफ कहाँ पे ये
On the top,
ये
like
वाला और
second,
प्रेसिडेंट भी
first point.
बाइंडिंग ये वाला ना
Yes.
ये बाइंडिंग नहीं होगा परस्यू ऐसे होगा ये you're right there is a typographical error. Remember we had discussed that if for the precedent to be applicable the point of law is very important. It could be कि भाई फैक्चुअली ऐसा हो सकता है कि एक केस में सेल ऑफ गुड्स में सेल ऑफ बॉटल वाटर था और दूसरे में सेल ऑफ जूस था तो फैक्चुअली तो गलत हो गया ना अलग अलग हो गया बट द एसेंस ऑफ प्रिंसिपल ऑफ सेल इज व्हाट वाज इंपॉर्टेंट सो दैट्स व्हाट इज द क्रक्स ऑफ इट. ठीक है गुड कैच ब्रो नाइस आई एम इम्प्रेस्ड. हाँ ठीक है एनीवन एल्स एनी डाउट्स. यस यस प्लीज जसनीत.
सर ये जो आप ये टेक्स्ट बुक से पढ़ा रहे हो और ये जो सॉफ्ट कॉपी है ये एलएमएस में है क्या?
होना तो चाहिए ब्रो आई एम गेसिंग. If not, you have some student representative, someone, no? You can ask it from them also.
Okay.
कोई ना कोई तो होगा ना your
बिकॉज मेरे पास ये टेक्स्ट बुक आया नहीं है इसका लॉ का.
physical textbook has not yet reached yet.
No.
एक सेकंड जाओ. What's your full name? Jasneet Singh, na?
यस सर जसनीत सिंह कपूर.
ठीक है. I've dropped a text. Somebody will get in touch. ठीक है.
ओके सर थैंक यू.
So having said that, उसी को बोल देना फिर कि जब तक टेक्स्ट बुक नहीं आता है मेरे को सॉफ्ट कॉपी. ठीक है. Yes, प्रसन्ना.
Sir, I have few doubts in contracts.
Yeah, please tell me.
Within practical example. So say, sir, I am purchasing something from Amazon, and they have guaranteed me some delivery date. They have, they are giving some delivery date, the estimated delivery date. I'm paying, and after I pay, I'll be getting a summary, right, on when I'll be receiving the product. So say for example, let's say Amazon has mentioned it is March 16 when I was like paying, but after that, after I paid, in the summary, if the date was changed, if there is a change in date,
Well,
does
you
it
have answered your own question.
is it a contract breach by Amazon?
But I'm saying you only answered your own question. What did you say? That Amazon has guaranteed me a delivery date, and then it
Yes.
was the estimated date of delivery.
Yes.
Say
Okay.
estimate. Then how is it a guarantee?
Okay. Fine. But in real life, like, how can we assume, sir? Did Amazon breach the contract?
No, if you will see, आज तक कभी तुमने terms and conditions पढ़े जो अपन आई एग्री कर देते इनिशियली।
Yeah.
कभी बैठ के पढ़ो, उसमें सब लिखा हुआ है that if there is any
Okay.
delay
Okay.
then the Amazon will not be liable, ये वो 4 चीज सब लिखी हुई होती है उसमें।
Okay, sir, got it. Because I just ordered one product, but after I paid, na, like if I go to order section and go to the date has changed. Like it's been about 2 weeks past. I mean, 2 weeks after the due date. So that's why I contacted Amazon, but I didn't have solid proof with them. So I
मैं
thought,
कस्टमर केयर में हूँ नहीं तो मेरे को ज्यादा आइडिया नहीं होगा। जेफ भाई को फोन करो।
okay, sir.
An email to Jeff.
Okay.
No, anyways, jokes apart, these guys, all these delivery platforms, your Zomato, Swiggy हो गया, Blinkit वगैरह, everything वो है. These guys have it mentioned in their terms and conditions initially already that even
Okay.
for a matter of fact, guys, when you take cabs, Ola, Uber, book करते हैं तब कुछ price दिखाता है. When we reach the destination, sometimes the price increases. So they've
Yes,
mentioned
sir.
out
Yeah.
there the estimate fare is XYZ.
Okay. Okay. Got
ठीक
it,
है?
sir. Yes, sir.
ओके, एनीवन एल्स, एनी डाउट्स कि इसको अमेजोन से किसी को फ्लिपकार्ट का प्रॉब्लम है? फ्लिपकार्ट से कौन ही ऑर्डर करता है आजकल अभी। ठीक है, एनीवेज ओके गाइस, we'll wrap up the session then. See you all tomorrow 2 o'clock. Please be on time. Until then, bye bye, take care, cheers.
Bye bye. Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye bye.
I will get a feedback form after the lecture once you end. तो गंदा फीडबैक दोगे तो मेरे को पता चलेगा, उसमें लिखा है एनोनिमस पर मैं देखेगा। Just joking guys, it's an anonymous, you can write your honest feedback and I don't care actually. जो करना है करो यार। चलो, take care guys, bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye bye.